What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Never Miss Mondays. I'm Olivia.
I'm Makynna.
And so today we only have half of a Monday here. So I'm in Scottsdale this week visiting Makynna. So I've been soaking up the sunshine. So we thought, what better opportunity than to put her on the pod? So
First podcast
ever.
I feel like I was low-key meant for a podcast.
You are good to podcast.
A girl can
We
yap.
we can yap for a long time. So I got here a couple days ago. We've had a great time, done lots of adventures.
Yes.
But we were just wanted to talk about, we work together, we're friends, we both did bodybuilding, literally everything possible. I feel like we could do together, we do together.
Yeah.
So
And to talk about me.
and to
Of
talk
course.
about everything. So give us a little introduction of who Makynna Harrington is.
Oh my God. Where do I even start? Okay, well.
Get started.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that was good. My name is Makynna. I'm 25. Currently live in Scottsdale. I moved here from Nebraska, but
Yeah,
I originally
Midwest
grew up.
girls.
Yeah, but I originally grew up in Iowa.
Yeah.
I lived in Nebraska for like 10 years, and it kind of just got to a point where I knew I was not meant to be in the Midwest,
Yep.
and the timing was as good as it was ever going to be, so I just decided to move out here to Scottsdale. I don't have any family out here. I don't
Yep.
have any like super close friends out here. I have like a few like
Mutuals.
acquaintances,
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
that I like know, but no like besties. So yeah, I've been out here for, actually, 2
It's
months
been like
tomorrow.
almost exact. I
2
was going to
months
say it's almost
tomorrow.
exact.
Yeah. I've been out here in Scottsdale. I am the owner of Ignite, which we will get into. And I'm a dog mom. And I'm a Leo.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to know.
Yep. We've got all the good things. But yeah, you always knew you wanted to move. I feel like ever since I've known you, you always wanted to move.
Yeah.
But it was more like, where do I want to move? When do I want to move? And then, like, obviously making the jump is, like, kind of scary.
The big jump, yeah. A lot of it was, like, I would always get a boyfriend.
Yep.
And then I'm like, well, I don't want to move away from my boyfriend. And
Yep.
then it was also kind of like, if you grew up in the Midwest, then you'll know this, but, like, the scarcity mindset of, like,
Yeah.
you don't need to move. You need to stay exactly
Right.
where
Like,
you're
it's
at.
comfy, cozy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not anything over the top and, like,
Yeah.
insanely fun and crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that is, like, why a lot of people say, because it is a little bit, it's just, like, cozy. Like,
Yeah.
safe,
Yeah.
comfortable, cozy. So it's
the
hard to
comfortable.
leave.
Yeah, it's comfortable, like, with where you're at. You know people around you, and this is another thing that we can get into, too, when it comes to, like, the business side of things. But
Yeah.
I'm the only person, entrepreneur-wise, who, like, I don't have, like, a basic 9 to 5 or, like, a steady income or a steady, consistent paycheck coming in. Like, it's always, like...
It's always different.
Yeah, so it's, like, it was scary, but, yeah.
I mean, I think... But yeah, ever since I'd met you, you were kind of like, I'm here, and, like, I don't, like, hate it.
Yeah.
But, like, I know I'm meant for, like,
I'm
something
meant for
more. Yeah.
And it was just, like, I was being pulled to, like, a few different areas. It was Arizona, Colorado, and
Texas.
And the reason I chose Arizona, I guess we can get into, it's just one, sunshine. Like, I know. And
Colorado was too cold.
Colorado's too cold. And I feel like since I didn't know anyone there, I would literally be so miserable.
So alone.
And so alone. Whereas here, like, I knew a few people, but it's also, like, so much happier being here because it's, like, sunshine. Everyone's out and about all the time. People are
it's
visiting
hustle
here
bustle.
all the time. Super good for, like, entrepreneur space, fitness space. So, like, I was always gravitated towards here, but I just...
And you knew, like... some people, because we were clients for the same company, Bear.
Yeah.
And, they're based out of Arizona.
Yeah.
And then there's other people you met through there that are here.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So even though you didn't closely know anybody, you knew, like, at least... some people, in case shit hit the fan, like, people would be here to help.
Yeah, no, I felt more comfortable coming here because, like, I know if, like, I needed to call someone.
Right. Like, something big happened
I
and
could.
we needed somebody, you would know somebody.
Right, yeah.
And you're not a cold gal, so Colorado would have been a brutal adjustment. Like,
Even,
beautiful, absolutely stunning. Will always, I mean, I'm sure you'll still go there on vacation. Yeah. But definitely you would have gotten fucked with the cold.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too. Like, anytime, I'm a travel girl, okay?
Yeah.
And anytime I would travel... I was coming here.
Yeah.
I literally
You did
was
your
coming
first solo
here.
trip here too.
Yeah, first solo trip, which was literally 2 years ago.
Yeah. And then we came here on the retreat back in February. And that was when you'd already decided here. We knew, we like drove past the townhome and everything.
Yeah.
So
probably in like the last 2 years, I've been to Arizona like 8 times.
Yeah.
Which is
fun.
insane.
Yeah. So now it's my vacation spot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I feel like our vacation spot was your like more Colorado. And then like as you like, and I loved it, but I do agree like I am more of like a hot, like as well. So like visiting here was super fun too. So we had tons of fun.
I would rather melt in the sun than go through another 8 months of winter.
Yeah. Missouri is brutal. So
girl,
let me hang in there.
Yeah. Girl, don't even.
I would love to throw my mother puffer away. One of these days I will. But yeah, I mean, I think the move was super big for you, and I know obviously things didn't go like as smoothly as you wanted them to, or like it probably went the worst. It probably like legitimately the worst it could have been.
And like I think I'm just blacking that out.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like, I can't even get into it.
It's so not funny, but it is so funny because like it took you so long to pull the trigger to move, and then you got absolutely fucked.
Boom. Yeah, no. Even like things that like I didn't even like think was a possibility.
Things that like you would never think would happen.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
from sewage to cockroaches to jumping my moving truck. That pretty much
to the wet
sums
mattress, to the ruined desks, to not having keys, to not being able to shower.
There's a whole list.
But everything is pretty much resolved at this point.
I love my townhome.
It's in an amazing spot of town.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
We just walked like this morning to go get coffee. We walked out to the bars last night. Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
We walked to dinner. We walked.
You can walk everywhere.
Yeah.
To the mall.
Yeah, we walked to the mall. I knew there was something I was leaving out. Like
there's like a canal that you can go walk by.
Yeah, we walked
with big fish.
Ooh. But yeah, like so close to so many things, and like you're the same as me. Like I'm not trying to drive.
Oh.
Like for basic things. Like I'm totally fine like go like how we drove and went kayaking. Like I'm fine to drive out of my way for like that kind of stuff, but basic shit like the store, the mall, dinner, coffee, things like that. I'm trying to walk or drive less than 10 minutes.
Imagine like we went to the bars last night and then we had to drive home.
How to drive home. Ooh. Or like Uber home, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So much easier. Like that's why I live where I live too, because it's like I can walk to go do those things and then walk home.
Yeah, and that's something I've also never experienced either because I used to own a house back home in Nebraska, and it was like in the suburbs, like the furthest like away from like the downtown that you could get.
Yeah,
the furthest.
It's a trek to get down there.
So like you couldn't walk anywhere.
Pay for parking, fight for parking.
Right.
Pay $200 million for an Uber.
Yeah, so I'm good. So now I'm just living my best life here. Just walking around everywhere.
It's very good. We got tons of sunshine yesterday. It was so amazing.
I literally, and another thing too, it's like every time I come to Arizona, like I just feel like it's my place.
Yeah.
And like now that I'm here, I have no regrets moving. Whereas like if I would have moved to Texas, no.
You could have had fun, but like I know exactly what you mean. Like even if it's not like I felt exactly the same way when I moved to St. Louis. Like immediately after 2 weeks, I was like, oh my God, like, am I meant to be here forever? I don't know. But I was like, I'm meant to be here. Like I never felt like that about Louisville. And that's why I knew I needed to leave. But like 2 weeks into St. Louis, I was like, oh my God, like I'm meant to be here.
That's how I feel.
And I feel like if, we were obviously early 20s, so you're not going to live probably in your dream place at 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever. And if you do, good for you. But so I feel like it might not be your forever place, but to have that feeling at least for a while of being like, this is where I'm meant to be at this stage of my life, I think is important.
Well, and I've never felt like that either. Like no matter like where I've lived, I've just like
you've been getting out of your shell a lot.
Yeah. Oh my God. In so many ways. Not even just like where I'm living, but there's so many things like
meeting new people.
Wise, like I feel like when I turn, and I've said this so many times, when I turn 25, so many things in my life, like you guys would not even imagine all of the things that have changed. Yeah. Not even intentionally. Like it's literally just happening for me. Yeah. And I think like the universe is something special. Seriously. No, like literally.
No, I feel that. Even when I turned 25, I felt like there was just things that like clicked of like, this is me. That's never going to change about me. And I'm okay with that not changing. Like,
and I've also felt the most secure with myself, even throughout all of the changes that are happening. Like, because my early 20s was such a bad time mentally. And luckily I don't deal with any sort of like depression anymore. And I still have anxiety, but just like for just like certain things.
Yeah, not
like
constant anxiety about like anything and everything.
Yeah. And I do think like getting out of relationships and like letting yourself getting out of relationships and not staying because you're comfortable. Yeah. And, you know, moving to a place where like you actually enjoy
doing things like solely for yourself too.
And just like get it, like I've done so many things like socially wise that I would have never done even like 6 months ago. So
we got Makynna out to two bars last night.
I was having
back to back bars last night like that. Proud of you getting out of but I think that's big too. Like it's just something clicks, and you and I talk about this all the time. Like that's something you and I feel like help each other with is like I'm trying to make this not sound like disgustingly pick me. But like,
what are you gonna say right now? What is it?
You and I feel like probably like struggled for a little bit just because like the norm of like a 25-year-old female is not what we do. We dress more, I would say, alternatively. We are very like career focused. We're very like, we don't drink, we don't party, we don't hook up, we don't.
And this is something too that like,
and so it's hard to like accept that for a while and be like, I'm okay with being like that. I feel like for a while it was like, let me try to dress like that, let me try to do the hookup culture, let me try to have a drink, and then it's finally like, I don't like any of that
and
stuff.
That was a lot of my issues when I was like in my like 20 to 25 we'll say. I always felt so
out of place.
No one understood me. And I just always felt just like almost unwanted socially because I like didn't want to do what everyone else was doing. And so that stemmed a lot of my anxiety and a lot of my like depression at the time, because I'm just like, fuck, like
why don't I feel like this? Why don't I want to do this?
No one understands me. No one gets the way that I think. And that's where like a lot of that was coming from. And like now that like you and I are so similar in like a lot of the ways, it's like, oh, it feels so good to be around people that actually understand what goes on.
And you're so secure in what you like, and you're not embarrassed to say like, I don't want to do that, or I don't like that. So now the people that you meet, you're already like setting. That's why I always say like, moving when you're 24 or 25 is the best thing you could do, because you get to completely start over your circle. Because like, I felt the same way when I was 21. Like when I was getting ready with friends, like they'd put clothes on, I'd be like, I own nothing like this. Like I'm trying to put jeans and like Nikes on, and like, or like I'm trying to like go to the gym, or like not do, like I don't like drinking, and like I stopped drinking like freshman year of college. Like who doesn't drink in college? Like who doesn't hook up in college? Like and so like starting over your entire circle and like meeting people solely brand new, fresh, all they know about you is Olivia doesn't drink, Olivia's a bodybuilder, Makynna likes to wear dunks and jeans, like, and then you like find the people like that, so you're no longer like, oh my god, like I feel so out of place with these people.
I had to, and I'm still friends with these people to this day,
same,
but and they're still one of like my closest friends that I have. But when I was 21, 22, 23, they were living a whole different life than I was at that time. So there was a time where we were like a trio essentially, and I just kind of
like question like, should I be in here?
They just like didn't invite me to things. They went to the bars, they took weekend trips somewhere. I'm like, hold on, I introduced you two together and now I'm getting kicked out. But I'm still like, they're literally my best friends to this day. But again, like when you're in your early 20s and you don't do the normal,
and you usually don't speak up for yourself of saying like, I don't like that. So now they know like who you are as a person. And I think that makes it so much easier. So I think moving I was so glad when you were like, I think it's finally time, because like it's so cool for you to like be able to rebuild your circle and branch out and meet new people when you're so set and confident. And like you can always change, but like you're so bought into like who you are and who you want to be around, and you're stable and secure in your like job and your personal life, where it's like, now I'm so happy with who I am. I'm okay bringing other people inside, whether that be friends or partners or whoever it may be. It's not like you're trying to find yourself while you're surrounded by people that are completely different than you.
I remember when I found this townhome on Zillow, you were the first person I sent it to. And it was like, fuck it. I'm applying and I'm signing the lease in like 48 hours.
Like you can't think about it.
You know what? Fuck it. I don't care.
You and I are too impulsive to be together.
Fuck. I'm just gonna do it.
No, you have to do it. That's exactly how we ended up in our apartment. I was like, I hate Kentucky. I hate my job. We should move to St. Louis, and we signed the lease on the plane to Mexico, and we left in 5 days when we got home.
My thing too was like, I'm so tired of telling myself I'm gonna do something and then I never do it.
Right.
It's just like with moving.
If you regret it, go back or go
Move
somewhere
the
else.
Fuck back.
Right. Like it's not like if you would have moved here and hated it. You couldn't have moved back to Nebraska or moved somewhere else. Like,
hello,
we're 25. We can do whatever we want. But I think that was a big thing, was like moving and just like figuring out like what you want to do, who you want to be. And obviously, you know, you went through a lot of like transition wise, like personally, but then you also, you know, we transitioned a lot of like the business stuff, you know, redefining who you are, who the business is. I mean, we went through a complete rebrand.
That was like the beginning of 2024.
Complete rebrand. Focused on different things. Thought we wanted to take it one way. Switched that. And like, I think that's cool too, is like just being so comfortable like with that changing. So obviously you own Ignite. I've worked with Ignite for like over 2.5 years at this point. And so that's changed a decent amount from solely like very, very beginner lifestyle coaching to then like intermediate coaching to then, you know, we both were into bodybuilding, kind of want to take that route. You know, you kind of dropped off of bodybuilding and then now went through that. So talk about like owning Ignite and how things have changed for you over the past 5 years since you've had Ignite. 5 years.
Let's do the Spark Notes version of this.
5 years is a lot. And even in the past like 2 years, like
I would say
everything has changed. I would say in the past 2 years.
I would say it's changed more in the last like year and a half than the last 5 years as a whole. I started Ignite in 2020. So backtrack, I actually went to cosmetology school and everything shut down in COVID. And at the time I was growing my following on social media and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do this. I don't know what it's going to do for me, but I don't have a job anyways. So whatever. And it was amazing from the beginning. Like, so I have no idea how like it's my life. Like I was able to start a coaching company and like be able to go full time like that quickly with it. Like, because my thing is like, I always thought personal trainers made like $10 an hour and like, you're not going to make any money. And that's also another thing too. Like I had to explain to my mom, like, no, like I can actually
making a living off from this like long term.
So for a year I was by myself. I was doing everything. And that's in 2021 is when I started scaling my company. And by scaling, that just means hiring on employees and just growing in a way to where like I don't have to do everything myself. So that was that. When I started the company, I was 20. So you can imagine me talking about
and fitness back then was even so much different than it is now.
Yeah, like there really wasn't a huge fitness community online. Like it was just like in the up and up. So like online coaching was on fire. And you know, throughout the years, you really have to understand, you know, marketing and how the industry is changing and everything.
Us changing like as coaches and athletes
and
too.
As a human, like I was 20 years old when I took on my first client. I'm turning 26 this year. Like just like that in itself. I mean, what questions, like what transitional phases do you want me to touch base on?
I think, a big thing. Yeah. I think a big thing for you, and I feel like a reason why I have obviously stayed with Ignite as long as I have. And that's my goal is to stay with Ignite forever. And I think a big reason why that is we run it so differently.
Yeah.
Online coaching is a huge space now because people are realizing, one, it's easier for you as a client to have a coach online because you're not having to adjust your schedule. You've got someone to contact. They're now seeing all your nutrition. It's not just let me work out with you twice a week, and give you a basic cookie cutter corporate ass plan.
Right.
And somebody that just has their NASM CPT, which means nothing. So, I think that, but still in the online coaching space, you have, teams that maybe are just in it for money, or you have teams that, aren't comfortable not taking certain people on. We have niche to a point where we're so confident in the people that we can help because that's what we focus on the most. But then also, we are a small team. You're happy with a small team. So I know at one point it was like, let me create a big team and have a lot of coaches and do this stuff and remove myself from training completely. Yeah. And then now you're in the phase of getting back into coaching.
Yeah. I mean, when I scaled my company, I was working with a business coach who was obviously helping me do that because there's no way I could have done it on my own. I had no clue anything about the business side of things. I barely knew anything about coaching at the time.
Right.
And I used to have a team of 7 or 8 employees, including myself, and I have never felt so lost within what I'm even doing with the company, because I started coaching because I wanted to coach, not because I wanted to scale to be a multi-million-dollar business with 30 employees and blah, 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 blah. So I've done a lot of scaling up. I've done a lot of scaling back. I've fired. I've hired. And I've transitioned, the pillars that we take our clients through. I've redone literally
our
systems,
entire ideal client marketing,
entire back end of everything, the pay structure, the employee structure, roles and responsibilities. There's so much that goes into what I do that I don't think anyone understands because it's
it's not just coaching.
No, it's not just the transformations that I post.
It's not just
online.
coaching and people apply and we just
and then I take their money and then I make them change their body.
Exactly.
It's not like that. It's not. But that's not something that I realized either when I first started coaching. There's a whole other side to running an online business than just coaching. So I would say, as far as how Ignite has changed, first of all, it wasn't even Ignite until last year.
Yeah, we were just MH Fit.
MH Fit team.
It was purple and white.
Oh my God.
She was just so cutie. Listen, I love her. She's cutie.
You know what's funny? What's funny is right before we switched to Ignite, we switched the colors, we switched every. You know what I'm going to say?
Yes.
Say it.
Finally, I'd been with you for probably it was probably 5 or 7 months at that point. And I was purple is not my color, but I was when I'm with a place, when I work for a place, I'm in. And so I was you know what? Fine. Every time we meet up, I don't have the colors. I'm not posting in the colors. This is stupid. So I ordered probably 10 pieces of purple clothing from Navigation, dropped a bag. And then 3 weeks later, we changed colors, which granted, we changed colors to my favorite color in the world. So
yes,
can't be mad about it. But now I have 4 pairs of purple leggings, 3 pairs of purple shorts, purple shirts, purple sports bras. And I probably have worn 3 of the items. But again, we switched to my favorite color in the world that I already had. So go blue.
Go blue. Yeah, no, that was hilarious. But when it comes to the transitional phase, I guess we can kind of talk about why we transitioned. And I mean, I'm trying to think back to that time and just kind of what was going on. I was going through, that was a part of the business where I was scaling back. Yeah. I think that year I literally let go of 4 employees that year. It was 2023.
Yep.
I let go of 2 coaches and then my call specialist and then just like a random admin graphic designer person. So it was 4 people in a span of just like a few months.
Yeah, very fast.
It was like
so that just left us with you and me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both
that
of
was
us.
it. Yeah, it was just us 2.
And I was feeling just really detached from the business. I feel like all I was talking about was fat loss and losing body fat and lifestyle, blah, 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 blah.
Very, and it was very too, like, even like very beginner.
Yeah.
It was very beginner. It was very weight loss. It was, but
which isn't bad.
Correct. Absolutely. Like, and the thing about that is like, I think why we switched is because you and I both knew deep down, like, that's not, there are people that are way better coaches at coaching beginners than we are. Like,
yes.
And so it was, and that was people we weren't even necessarily like wanting to bring in.
Right.
So it was like, why are we talking about this? But it was so hard to be like, that's such a common thing in social media. Like,
the thing with fat loss.
Yeah.
It is the easiest marketing tool to use when you are an online coach.
Correct.
So it's like, why would I shift gears, not get as many clients?
Correct.
And like, because that's something you think about too when you're a business person.
Not everybody wants to build muscle. Not everybody wants to wait 7 months to go into a deficit because their metabolism is fucking tanked.
Right.
But we knew that, one, we were going to do it the right way.
Yeah.
We were going to do it the science way. Yeah. We were going to do it the morally right way.
And also, with my fitness journey, my own fitness journey, it was never about fat loss.
Right.
I have, and if you've obviously followed me, then you know, like, I was strictly bulking and cutting. I was putting on muscle. I was losing the body fat. But it wasn't just losing body fat.
It was just getting to your next building season.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, it's so different. It wasn't just, let me lose weight for summer. Let me lose weight for vacation. Let me just, like, do whatever. Yeah. It was, I'm putting on muscle and then getting to a better body fat percentage to where I'm optimally going to build more muscle.
Yeah. And your girl was fucking strong.
Yeah.
And
powerlifter era.
Yeah. I was in my powerlifting era. Sister was benching 155. Hello?
Sister was benching like 95 over here.
No.
Bikini girl training chest.
Yeah, no, literally. But no, like when it came to that, I just felt very detached with who we were bringing in as clients.
Yeah.
Not that they're bad people, but it's just not the clientele that I wanted to work
and
with.
we wanted to, I feel like as a coach, you need to coach the people that you're passionate about changing them.
Right.
Like again, there's going to be people that are so passionate about people that want to just do fat loss or more lifestyle stuff. And that's great.
Yeah.
And have those coaches that are so passionate about that.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. Like, it's such an easy marketing tactic to market just to fat loss because 95% of the world, I'm sure, would love to lose 5 to 20 pounds. You know, like that's so easy to talk about. But if that's not what we want to do and we're bought into, why would we do that?
Yeah. So I guess we can kind of talk about, that transition and then kind of how we rebranded Ignite and just like, I'll kind of let you go with that.
Image Fit, I feel like, was just like all around health and wellness.
There was no niche.
Yes. It was just health and wellness, online coaching. That was about it.
Right.
And then we were like, okay,
listen.
It was like, we're not here, to teach very beginner stuff. Like, we just didn't feel as fulfilled with that.
I just wasn't connected to it.
Yeah,
I was not a beginner. Like, I didn't feel like my fitness journey was beginner. Like, I was more intermediate advanced. So
we wanted to transform high level transformations.
Right.
Like, people that, not necessarily maybe what you would consider an athlete.
Yeah.
But they had been in the gym for a while. When we were talking about, ideal person that we could bring in would be like us 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where they've been in the gym, they've tried the nutrition. It's just something isn't clicking. They've done everything. They want to make it for their life. Like, they're wanting to make those changes for their life, not just let me do what I need to do to lose body fat for my summer vacation. And so it was like, what do we want to do? And then obviously making it like a cohesive brand. So we came up with Ignite. And then from there, we even went through another shift of, you know, we brought on Val.
Shout out Val. We love you.
Val needs to come on
We miss
next.
you.
Our Philly gal. Oh my gosh. She'll come on eventually. And so, you know, she came on, and when we were talking about, you know, you bringing on another coach, it was you and I were preparing for bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
And so we were looking for somebody who was also going to live and promote the bodybuilding lifestyle. And now I'm the only one who talks about bodybuilding.
I literally, going back to the hiring process, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
There is not a better fucking person that I could have brought on than Val.
Yep.
And this is one thing too that was different. I was changing.
We took a long time to bring on somebody else.
Yeah, and this is something too, like my shift as a business owner prior to transitioning into Ignite, I was just hiring anyone just to hire someone because I'm like, you know what?
Do you have training experience?
You want to coach?
Can you bring in
You're good?
clients? Yeah.
Okay, I'll hire you. That's fine.
Right.
But now, like, I needed to get away from just like the quick hires because I had done that so many times to where they weren't aligned with what I truly was wanting. But at the time, I didn't know what I was wanting.
Right.
I just wanted to coach people, and that was it.
Coach people.
Yeah,
just wanted to be a coach.
Yeah, and now with the transition to Ignite, and we're so specific with who we want to bring onto the team, it literally took me like 5 months.
It was literally like 4 or 5 months because we were so solid. We had stuff in such a good rhythm. We knew exactly what we wanted, and so it was like the next person we bring in like has to be perfect. Like fit seamlessly, live and breathe Ignite, live and breathe what we talk about. You know, not just who can bring in the most clients, who has the biggest following on social media. You know, whatever it may be. So Val was like absolutely perfect. So
Val's amazing.
All 3 of us were in prep at the same time. We all competed within like all of our shows were within the same month. Like we all competed in April or beginning of May. Like which was so cool because we all were going through it together.
I don't think I could have done my first prep without being in prep at the same time as you.
So fun to do it all together.
Every Monday morning.
Every Monday morning,
ass
Olivia
shots.
ass shots. My check-in pictures just blasted in the group chat. Like, hey guys, does my butt look bigger this week? Do I have no waist? But I think that was so fun because it was like, when we were in the trenches together. And like we were able to like work around that in what was going on with work and not put as much pressure on ourselves because like you knew what we were going through and we knew what you were going through. So like whether it be through launches or onboarding or marketing, like whatever it may be, it worked so well for business for us to be able to all be on the same page.
Right.
So, but now we were like, okay, like we want to market now towards, you know, even higher level people, even athletes. We had talked about, you know, me getting into prep coaching. I think, you know, I think thought about it for a little bit at one point.
I had the desire to do it until the end of my prep. Which we can talk about. But
so now we do.
I've never talked about that really online before.
I know. So now I'm currently prep coaching. So I just had a client hit the stage about 2-3 weeks ago for the first time. And then I've got one about 3-4 weeks into prep. And then I've got one starting prep towards the end of the year. So I've fully kind of transitioned to, you know, elevated lifestyle coaching and then the prep coaching, but Ignite is still very
elevated lifestyle coaching. That's a perfect way to put it.
Elevated lifestyle coaching, physique transformations, things like that.
Because I also have a client too who like may be interested in bodybuilding, like,
and that's the cool thing I think that's awesome. Exactly. Is we have, you know, people here and we've talked about that, you know, they go through an aggressive phase in a lifestyle way and they're like, wait a second, I like this. Maybe I want to do it. And so I am so fulfilled in bodybuilding and bodybuilding coaching. And so I think it's so cool that we have the elevated lifestyle. And then if someone's like, hey, I actually think I want to try this out, boom, we have that too. So, but I'm gearing up for my second prep. Makynna is not.
Oh.
So
never again.
Which I think is so cool because there's a lot of either completely like one way or the other with bodybuilding views.
Yeah.
And like we talk about this literally all the time, but I am gung-ho. This is absolutely amazing, fucking awesome. Love it, love it, love it. And we had totally different experiences. So
yeah.
You did amazing though. You looked fire.
Did I?
Yes. Did I do good? You did so good. Listen, and like that's the thing about like your first prep too. I feel like, you know, especially in today's world with like social media, you see so many like first shows like overalls and winning and pro cards and like all this kinds of stuff. The reality is that's like 2% of people. And you don't hear a lot about, you know, hey, I did my first show and I didn't respond as well towards the end of my prep, or I didn't love it as much. Like I don't have a hatred towards it, but I don't love it as much.
Especially influencers.
Correct. Yeah.
It is insane. Just like influencers are kind of taking over like the whole bodybuilding world.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've tried not to follow a lot of bodybuilders, and I've muted them too, like the ones that I do follow, because I've had such an opposite experience that everyone else has had when it comes to bodybuilding. Yeah. So.
And I feel like as a coach too, like I think, especially with you being a coach and being around like, at least like me and Val too, like we knew what was going on. So like, whereas maybe it's just someone that doesn't have that knowledge of maybe what's going on and their prep didn't go as well and they might not know why. Right. And so it's just like, I don't know, like maybe I'm just not meant for it. I don't know. Yeah. But we knew, you know, something was off, how we were like not responding, things like that. So, I mean, you could talk about it if you want, or you don't have to. No, ask me questions. So.
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, one, I know as a whole, and correct me if I'm wrong, you don't regret competing. No. Like, have no regret for competing. It was something that was always in the back of your mind.
Yes.
But the last couple weeks, I know for prep for you was, you know, we weren't responding. Something was off. And so that's where things just changed of like, what's going on for me? And so like, walk me through it's like everything was going great. We were dropping consistently, getting ready, and then it just stopped.
Yeah. So throughout my whole prep, I was losing 2 to 3 pounds a week. Every single week, consistently. My body was responding like a fucking machine. And it was great. Yeah. And I loved my prep. I would probably still be competing if it wasn't for how much the last 3 weeks fucked me up. And that says a lot. Yeah. But no, I lost about like 23 to 25 pounds on my prep. And then 3 weeks out, it just stopped.
Nothing.
It just stopped.
You were tanked. Nothing was dropping.
Nothing was dropping, no matter how hard I was pushing. Do you care if I talk about protocols?
No.
Okay.
No. Talk about whatever you want.
I was doing 2 hours of cardio. 7 days a week. My carbs, the lowest was like 45 to 50. My fats were at 15. I was eating like 800 calories a day towards the end. But that was because we were pushing. We needed to lose more weight. Like we just like whatever.
Right towards the end.
Yeah. Which is normal. Like it's normal to 100%. Grind like that.
I mean, I touched right at 1,000, a smidge under. 2 weeks out.
And like my thing was like, we just need to keep pushing. We need to keep digging. But my body,
no matter how hard you dug,
no matter how much cardio I did, no matter how little I ate, it just stopped. I just stopped losing weight, and it wasn't just me not losing weight is what killed it. I felt
everything was just going
shit
horrible.
I know you're not supposed to feel good at the end of prep. It was insane. Like there was just like a time where I was chilling 4 weeks out. I was living my best life. Yeah. And then I was just like,
it was like your whole body just wasn't functioning.
It just stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happened essentially. But like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. And your reverse went fine. Like there was no major.
It could have been worse.
Yeah. 100%.
I've always had a good relationship with food during prep, after prep. Yeah. After prep, it was a little interesting. It was just different.
Weird.
It was just different. Yeah. It wasn't like bad. I wasn't like binging on anything. Yeah. I wasn't. It was just
an odd time.
It was just weird. Yeah. No. But I did gain weight very quickly post show. And a reason for that being hormonally wise
Yeah.
is because everything towards the end of my prep tanked so bad. And
Yeah.
then afterwards, everything skyrocketed because I
Back
gained 15 pounds in 3 weeks.
Right.
And then my skin.
Yeah. The skin was a big one for sure. So
I don't know. I just, when it came to bodybuilding, I loved my prep through and through until 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
And then post show, I'm just like, hormonally wise, my skin got fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't really want to talk too much about that, but I have a whole highlight on my page about it. But essentially, like, hormonally wise, I just was post show, I was overproducing on some things, which
led to skin issues that you've never had before.
Never had in my life. I never grew up with acne.
Yep.
And again, like, you can go look at pictures on like social media. I'm very open about it.
Yeah.
But insane hormonal, my whole face just got
red,
fucked.
Inflamed,
hurt so bad. And it literally was just, I know for a fact it was just from like the hormone fluctuations within prep. There was nothing else that changed in my life besides the hormones.
And it only tanked like right towards the end. You know, it wasn't like we were dealing with it the whole time.
No.
So we only saw those changes like right towards the end. So
and like, I don't know, it may sound like, oh my God, it was only 3 weeks, but it was like 3 weeks of feeling that way, and then post show with my skin and just like hormones, and it's not worth it to me for a handful of reasons. But I always said, if my health gets fucked up, I'm never doing anything with this again. So.
I think that's the biggest thing too, is like, you know, you were so glad that you did it. You had been in the back of your mind for a long time and wanted to do it, and you know, for your first comp, like, absolutely brought a package you should be proud of. But yeah, I mean, if it's a point where it's affecting your health and you're like, I love this, but it's not something that I could see myself doing long term, then it's not worth the risk of putting your health on the line.
And I was going to compete again. Like, I was going to be starting prep like this month.
We were planning to do kind of the same timeline.
But again, like, there's just too many like cons for me than pros, and realistically, like, I don't want to get into PEDs and the division that I was in.
Realistically, at some point,
you need to be doing that in order to be competitive, because I'm not the type of person just to do it. Like, if I'm going to do it, then I'm going to be like full in, but I don't even like taking ibuprofen. Let alone pee.
Makynna's not a Tylenol gal, so getting her to pin would be a time.
No. So there was just a lot more cons than pros to me, and I also felt like a part of me felt like I needed to do it. To like feel, I don't know what the word is.
No, I get that. And it still, I feel like, is kind of like, just because it's almost like what's happening with High Rocks right now. Like, whole nother topic. But it's kind of like, which I feel like is still happening a little bit with bodybuilding, but very much so when we were getting into it, or the year before we got into it, it was booming. In like influencer world, people were getting into it. Everybody you knew was almost like in the fitness space was thinking about it or talking about it, or they knew somebody that competed. And so it was kind of like the automatic next step if you had been like lifting for a while and had a good transformation, which is crazy because like it shouldn't be. Like,
if you want to be credible as a fitness coach, you need to be in bodybuilding.
Right, exactly. Like, all the fitness coaches were bodybuilding.
Everyone bodybuilds.
And so literally exactly what's happening with High Rocks right now. It's like everybody jumps in
hybrid training, running.
Every single trend that goes by. And, you know, that's a big thing. It's like, High Rocks, sure, do it as a trend. It's not going to harming your health. Go for it. But realistically, like, you're signing up, you know, to where you should be monitoring like major health markers. You should be being under watch of very credible sources and taking a look at those things. And it's not just check the box, let me just, you know, do it, things like that. Like, that's a big commitment. And so
prep isn't something you can do for fun. Like, it's just not. And I feel like we've had like a few clients who are like, oh, I'm thinking about bodybuilding, and I'm like, do you want to know what that actually means? Because it's not just getting skinny.
Yeah. It's not getting skinny. It's not getting tan. It's not getting a suit. Like,
No.
and we just had this conversation, you know, today. I had a rough transition of, I loved bodybuilding, did my show, had an absolutely fucking horrible, disgusting reverse, and just like a horrible experience, like coming out of it. Didn't know if I ever wanted to do it again. And then completely sparked. I absolutely love it. Have long-term goals with it. I start my first prep in a very soon amount of time. But you have to ask yourself, like, why am I doing this show? Is it because I want to be tan and take the pictures and get the medals and be in a sparkly bikini?
Because that's fun, though.
That's fun. Do a pageant. Do a pageant. Do a pageant. Okay? Do a model. Do a photo shoot. You are signing up to track every single thing in your life. I'm talking your fiber pills. I'm talking your energy drinks. I'm talking your lettuce. I'm talking your spices.
Lettuce is crazy.
You're pulling blood work. You have intense training that you're tracking everything on. You're having rigidity, which is amazing. And if, like, for me, like, and you're having the suck, and I'm looking forward to, like, being miserable in a sense. Like, so you have to want the journey more than the stage, for example.
And, like, there's a thing too, like, I'm so anti-bodybuilding for myself.
Yeah.
But I still live like a bodybuilder.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's the thing you can do too, is like,
you've
gone through the phases.
Yes,
exactly.
I've gone through the phases of building and cutting, but not taking it to the point where I'm
getting on stage.
And I still am actively doing that right now.
Correct.
I'm just not getting on the stage. So it doesn't make me any less credible than her.
Right.
And vice versa.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, just as like a general coach, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's some like bodybuilder coaches that are great for bodybuilding, but they don't know fucking shit about lifestyle coaching.
And just because you're a great bodybuilder does not mean that you're a coach. Does not. Somebody that plays first at the Olympia, they might not be a great coach.
No.
Like, it's very different. But yeah, I mean, we've had conversations with people that, you know, they want to get into bodybuilding because they see the stuff, the cool stuff about bodybuilding. And it's like, this is going to, like, that is amazing. And I will get you there. Yeah. But this is going to be the reality of it.
And there's things that you can do as, like, someone who lives in the health and fitness, you know, lifestyle. It's like, if you want to get into bodybuilding and you have a coach, talk to your coach and be like, okay, let's do a very serious lifestyle cut where you're tracking 7 days a week. You don't have an intuitive meal or an intuitive day. Like, live it like a prep, but maybe for like 3 months instead of 6 months. Right. You know, so like there's things that where you can like dabble into the bodybuilding field to see if you even like it. And then
before investing the time, the money, potentially the health, things like that. That's exactly what I did. I said, if I can do 3 months, 100% consistent, and I did it myself without a coach, I'll sign up to do a bodybuilding prep. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Yeah. So, but I think
it doesn't have to be one or the other. Right. Is like one thing. Like, you don't have to be, there's not, like, if you're on a health and fitness journey, because again, like, bodybuilding is such a trend right now, you don't have to be a bodybuilder to go to the gym.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But you don't just have to be like a very basic beginner lifestyle gym girly either. Right. Like, you can
do whatever the hell you want.
You can be me. Yeah. You can be in the middle.
Be doing everything. Yeah. Yeah. I think we've definitely grown a lot, like, as a company, but then also like as coaches and as like humans and athletes as well too, to like see all of that transformation, everything. So I think that that's pretty cool. But yeah, we've been doing Ignite for a very long time and absolutely love it. And we, you know, we work super well together, and then we are best friends, like able to have like both of those relationships coincide, which I think is super important to be able to have, where like we follow the structure, we do the business things, but then we also have, like, we basically talk in like two completely different ways. Like, we'll be talking like everything business, and like in the channels that we talk business. Yeah,
I was gonna say
we keep it
separated.
Like, if we're texting in like iMessage, we're texting like as friends, and then like in Slack or WhatsApp, it's like all business, things like that, which I think helps so much. Like, keep it where we work together, and like, you know, online coaching is not like a little side job, or like I'm just doing it for whatever. Like, this is like our full-time job and our livelihood and what we
Yeah.
do, and like it's a for real credible business, just
Yeah.
like fucking Target's a business, like
Right.
and so I think that helps with keeping those both like such good relationships, but also keeping them like separated, which is cool.
I agree. And like one thing about me is like my employees that I've hired, like I am all in on you as a person.
Right.
Like even the people who I've let go in the past, I still talk to.
So involved.
I still text one of my past assistant coaches like every day.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I hire these people just to hire them. Like,
just to have
I
employees.
love my people. Like if you're in my corner, like I'm all in on you, and I feel like I'm just very loyal as a person, just because like that's just who I am. Like regardless of like your family or your friend or your employee, like if we're together, like I am all in on you.
Yeah.
And it's like when I say like I've like let people go in the past, I cry.
Yeah.
I cry. And like I've never fired someone on bad terms either. It's like
we're growing as people, the business is growing, or like people have different needs, or being mutual, or whatever may be. But I think that's too like why, you know, the people that are here enjoy being here, because it's not like, oh, I'm just like
you're not
making Makynna money, like, you know. That's why I take it so seriously, because it's like I'm gonna work harder to like like coach people and have these transformations, but and to obviously like it does pay like to make money, but I'm doing this to make you money, and like that I believe in this. It's not just like, oh, I'm working for a company because I just want to coach somewhere, like I just want to be a coach. I want to be a coach wherever it is. It's like no.
And that's why like I feel like, not to toot my own horn, but I do feel like Ignite is so different in that way, where like I try to do so much for my employees to where it's like I don't want you to feel like it's work. Like I want to make your job so fucking simple, and so just like I don't want you to do anything besides what you want to do and like what you're passionate about. I'm not like you have to be in Ignite's box. Obviously, like, yes, you have to be aligned with the brand, but it's like
we all have our own personal brand. And like I obviously do prep coaching. I have, you know, sometimes a little bit of a harder approach. Like, so it's not like you have to only take on these clients or talk about these things, or you have to have Ignite's branding and all this stuff. Like, we're our own personal brand, like within Ignite.
Whereas like with Val, she's full on going to be a physical therapist.
So, like,
exactly. Her clients and like how she coaches her clients is different than like how you coach clients. Exactly. And how I coach clients. And one thing too that I think is different than a lot of companies is I've never not coached while scaling a company. There are companies where it's like the CEO of the business
doesn't touch clients at all.
The CEO, and I never wanted to detach myself with clients. Because that's why I started the company in the first place. I want to coach. So why would I remove myself from that? And so that's another thing too. It's like I'm always in the fulfillment. And I have a lot of different hats. Which is I can't take on as many clients as you. Because I do a lot more things.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So like there's a give and take.
I think, you know, something about that too, as far as like, and I will toot your horn, but I know I'm friends with a lot of coaches. I'm friends with a lot of people who used to be coaches in the past, and you know, that's the thing that's different about Ignite, and especially like working for like you and Ignite, that's very different from a coach's perspective. Is one, you know, like we talked about, it's not just I'm your boss, you're my employee, you do exactly what I say. It's not the micromanaging of which makes us more willing to do things on our own anyways, which is like so crazy. It's not like like we have targets and we have expectations and we have things that we're supposed to meet, but you're not like 6 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing today?
Clock in, bitch.
Lock in, bitch. Or like, you only posted on social media one time this week. What are you doing? Or
I like to be very collaborative with you guys.
Exactly. Like sending ideas like, hey, I think this could be good for you guys. Or, hey, that thing that you talked about, like, that's really good. Or giving us advice or things like that. Sharing resources. It's very like sharing of like wealth of knowledge and information as opposed to like a dictatorship. And like, you do exactly as I say, and we only can do it this way. We've done so many things collaboratively, and we've tried things and they haven't worked, or they have worked, or celebrating wins, or saying like, hey, this didn't work as well, so like we're just going to change something about it. and also to like seeing the value in it. Like I've been friends with people and like had friends as coaches that, you know, the CEO is doing things behind their back and not compensating them for certain things or not telling them certain things about like their clients or what they're doing. And like, that is such like complete opposite from what we do. Like we all know absolutely everything that goes on in the bit. Like, you know, everything that we have going on. We know everything that you have going on.
One thing that I'll say is I am so involved and people don't realize how involved I am on the back end. Like,
you know all of our clients, you know everything that's going on with our clients. We talk about scenarios all the time, and that's something we do really well too, is like you have a bank of knowledge. I have a bank of knowledge. Val has a bank of knowledge. We all the time, like, you know, literally just yesterday you were like, hey, this client has a form video, like, can you take a look at this and like let me know what you think. I know you do this exercise on the regular. What do you think about it? Or I'll say, hey, this client has this and this. What do you guys think about it? Right. Collaborating on everything, because you could see something I don't see, or you could have dealt with it when Val didn't deal with it.
And that's why I think working like as a client, I would want to work with someone who has a team, because there's so many a good team.
I mean, all of us combined, how many? I mean, that's probably every bit of 10 plus courses. A future doctorate in physical therapist, hundreds of clients,
years of experience,
easily combined 15, 20 plus years of experience, completely different powerlifting, bodybuilding, lifestyle, bodybuilding, like everything under the sun. We have so much knowledge combined.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's cool. Like, when a client comes in and I'm talking to them, and you know, on our consult call, I'm like, you're not just getting me, and you're not just getting Val. You're getting everyone. You're getting all the coaches, all the clients too, which our client base right now.
The group chat's literally there's literally 18 notifications that I've got since we've been sitting here.
No, it's just like the community at Ignite now is amazing, and it has never been that way before. Really.
So I think that's a big thing too, is like you're getting all of that information, the resources put together, placed together, everyone to be able to contact, like all of the clients are here, like they're here to support you. Some of them have been here 4 years. Literally. Some of them have been here 4 days. And like, it's so cool to be able to talk to people that are like going through the same thing and provide that container for them to ask questions, celebrate their wins without judgment or like feeling like they're bragging, which you should never feel. And us being able to collaborate like that and not just be one person, which if you are like perfect, some people love doing that, but I love us being able to like talk about everything with each other, and you being like so involved in everything. Like we talk about that on at least a once a week basis on how everything is going.
No, I think it's cool too, because a lot of the times, like when I'm again talking to like future clients on like consult calls, I'm like, I'm not just going to give you your macros in a training program and say, see you later. It's so much more than that. And like, you truly don't realize how much is like you're getting until you're in the community itself. And there's a reason why our retention rate is so high. There's a reason
why our clients from like literally, like I had a client that ended with me like over 2 years ago and like texted me like a win, and like it's very much like we all of us believe in this, like active or not on my roster, like you're a fucking human and I care about you so much. Like I was involved in your life for at least 6 months, like knowing everything. You should always feel like you have me as a resource, as someone who you can trust fully, that's going to give you the best information in the world, that you can always contact. Any point in time in the world, you could WhatsApp message me and active or not on my roster, I don't give a fuck, and say like, hey, I have this quick question, like the internet's saying one thing and I don't know what to believe, or this is a win that I had even though I ended with you 2 months ago. Like those are like the best things that we have. And again, we have clients re-signing all the time.
I have one client on my roster. She's literally been with us since May of 2021.
My first client that I got with Ignite, I still have at least for another like 7 months.
Just like
which is so awesome. It's not just like, let me bring you on for 3 months and make you lose weight fast and then see ya. Never talk to you again. Or, oh, you're not paying me anymore. You can't contact me. I'm not going to talk to you. Like,
no, it's just so different here. And that's why, like, the whole rebrand, I mean, it still goes through like ebbs and flows, but like Ignite as a whole is just amazing. And like I know like from like a social media point of view, like it's like, oh my god, this bitch is selling me again. But it's like, I know what we can
sell
offer.
because what we sell is worth so much. Like I would not sell something that I like. We don't be like slapping Amazon links.
There's a reason I'm not an influencer, guys.
Yeah, we're not slapping like Amazon links. We're not slapping discount codes for sub companies and like all this shit. Like we're selling shit that is like literally like changing people's lives. We believe in it so much. Like we would not be selling this if we didn't believe like so many people could benefit from it, because at one point you and I had that turning point of getting the coach and realize like how much it's worth. So I think we're pretty cool.
I think we're pretty cool.
I mean, I think we're pretty cool, but we've done a lot, accomplished a lot, learned a lot. And
he's so sassy.
I know. Vinny's so pissed. He's fine.
What are you guys doing without me?
When we were setting up, he 100% wanted to talk in the mic. So, but yeah, I think we've grown a lot as people, business, coworkers, athletes, and just discovered a lot about ourselves. So, and we're going to continue to do so. So, well, that's it for today. If y'all love the episode, remember to like, follow, subscribe. And we'll talk to you next week.